Welcome to Educators in VR's XR News. Today we bring you the news from across the metaverse, exploring the state of VR, its economic status, and with exciting new interactive XR apps and games, and some exciting news about augmented reality game activity from around the world.
XR News is filmed before a live audience, and you can find our videos on the Educators in VR YouTube channel in the XR News playlist. You can also find all the links to every piece of news that we share every week here in Engage XR on our social media channels. So if you have not subscribed yet, please, you know what it is. We shouldn't have to tell you. Click the button, subscribe, if she could say it.
And thank you for joining us today. Since 2018, the XR News team has been bringing you the news, topics, and special guests from around the metaverse every Wednesday here in Engage XR, including the latest events and activities for you to join this weekend and beyond.
A couple weeks ago, we hosted a special event asking you about how VR has changed your life, how it has transformed your personal and professional experiences. It was an amazing discussion, and the video is up on our YouTube now, so thank you.
Yes.
Join us.
That was so much fun.
It was fun. Join us every Wednesday for the news or our special monthly Med Health edition with Rachel D. and the XR News Innovation Spotlight with Maxwell McGee, Chris Madsden, and Dr. Tom Furness as they explore the pioneering use of VR in Engage XR and beyond.
The XR News is produced by Educators in VR and run by volunteers. Thank you so much to our partners and supporters who help keep us going, including the Reinhardt Foundation, Girls Team Institute, iLearn, Virtual World Society, Vertex Form 3D, Cadets, Metaverse, and Bridge Makers. And a special thanks goes to Engage XR for their continued support, which allows us to do the show here every week.
If you or your company would also like to sponsor the XR News, please contact us at educatorsinvr.com.
Now on to industry news. Once the largest market in the XR industry, medical and healthcare is now second to manufacturing, but still represents the fastest growth. Today we are going to start with our version of the State of VR report, beginning with our recent XR News Med Health shows with Rachel D.
Now, a couple months ago, Dr. Nick Weir of Prothea, Kenya, blew us away here on a show with an innovative use of the iPhone photo scanning technique that captured amputees' limbs and the use of 3D modeling software in VR to create an artificial limb in less than 24 hours compared to patients waiting for months. That was an amazing show, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And last week, Rachel invited the team from Ficus, Korea to our show, expanding upon Dr. Weir's work in Africa. This team from Korea is working there in Africa, North America, and beyond, using Engage XR to train medical professionals on a variety of skills in VR. It was so exciting to see the power of VR at work.
Oh, yeah. Meta shared their version of the state of VR recently. It painted a very different picture from the doom and gloom headlines we've been seeing and worrying about. Samantha Ryan, a VR at Reality Labs, says Meta is doubling down on VR with a robust roadmap for future VR headsets and apps as the single biggest investor in the VR industry. Yet they are shifting focus toward 3D in 2D and mobile to stay sustainable. So let's get to some specifics.
Now, whether you know it or not, Quest usage has hit record levels in 2025. Even though there are no major hardware launches that year, people are spending more time in VR on the headsets they already own, and many, I'm one of them, I think most of you are one of them, have more than one headset, right? Estimates are that in 2026, there are about 171 million VR users globally.
Wow.
That's huge.
That is huge. And there are also more Quest apps crossing the $1 million revenue mark as smaller studios finally are getting discovered. This suggests a maturing ecosystem where thoughtful, high-quality content, especially the learning and productivity experiences, can sustain itself instead of relying on one viral hit.
VR Chat also released their VR Chat economy and metaverse demographics chart for 2026, claiming user friends have been rising all along, which
user
is true.
trends.
They're in,
User
yeah,
trends.
which
Not
is true.
trends.
Friends? Oh,
You
dear.
said friends. That's what
Where-
okay.
It looks like okay, which is true. Which is true. Their infographic shows various booms and the increase in users since 2018, and people do become friends sometimes.
They do, of course they do, of course they do. But isn't this graphic so VR Chat? The moment I saw it, I went, "Oh, VR
yeah.
Chat did this," and it's like, there it is, VR Chat concurrent trends. It's like, it is. It's so VR Chat, but it's awesome. It's awesome information. And as of
Yes.
now, mid 2026, the global XR market is experiencing rapid expansion. Seriously, with estimates placing the market size between 135 billion and 250 billion, with some predicting XR could become, I feel like I need a drum roll.
Yeah.
We need a drum roll button, Lance. We got to have a drum roll. Okay, the estimates are that XR could become a $1.5 trillion contributor to the global GDP by 2030.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, we're going to talk more about this in our chat VR section of the show coming up. So get your thoughts ready and let's have a conversation about your perspective on the state of VR today.
Absolutely.
A new article from Road to VR highlights the growing challenge of moderating social VR spaces. Dr. George Ng, co-founder and CTO of GGWP, explains how immersive environments intensify user behavior, with first-person embodiment making interactions more impactful than in traditional 2D platforms.
It is. You know, his research shows, again, we need a drum roll button. His research shows that fewer than 1% of users are responsible for roughly 28% of reported incidents. They're usually repeat offenders, same people over and over again. As multiplayer VR continues to expand, experts like Dr. Ning and Dr. Ruth Diaz of Bridgemakers are helping platforms develop smarter strategies to reduce toxicity and create safer virtual communities. Now, you can read more about this on Road to VR, and this is something we've been harping about for years. So interesting, 1%.
And now there's proof.
1%. Yeah, there's proof. Amazing.
Speaking of pioneers, Rob Theriault, Global XR Educator Award recipient and one of the first members of Educators in VR, has released a new book that has already made the New York Times bestseller list in its category. The Future of Education is Experimental features interviews from leaders across the XR immersive education industry and includes discussions on the impact of AI in XR. Congrats, Bob, and well done.
Yeah, I think that's the
Rob,
I think that's a podcast I listened to the first part of the other day. Well, speaking of our educators,
Craig Freely. Yeah.
Okay, and they wrote the book together, and he was on Voices of VR.
No, that's Kent By.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm thinking of a different one then. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So he featured some book that was co-written by two authors. All right. Well, I know we got to move on here. So, all right. Speaking of our educators and VR pioneers, Carlos Ochoa Fernandez's Vivaldi 3.0, the immersive universe of 4 seasons, featuring Ada Malkikan has been officially nominated for the Cannes Film Awards 2026. It already won 3 honors at the Poly Awards. Cannes winners will be announced June 27th in Cannes, France, and we are so excited to see our friend be so successful with this incredible immersive performance and experience. Congrats.
Yay.
Bravo.
Yay, Carlos. Boy, Carlos and Rob, amazing.
Indeed. Virtual hardware is next. PC Mag's latest Best VR Headsets Roundup highlights how MetaQuest line still sets the baseline for standalone VR thanks to its balance of price, content library, and ease of use. The guide notes that higher-end PC VR and mixed reality headsets from brands like Valve, Sony, and others are holding their own, reflecting a market that's maturing into clear tiers instead of chasing one killer device.
It's evolving. Now, Apple announced that it hit pause on the Vision Pro's future. Like we didn't get to figure that one was coming.
Big surprise there.
And after last year's M5 refresh failed to restart the demand for its $3,499 mixed reality headset, Apple stopped further development as new Vision Pro models, reassigning most of the team. Now, the existing M5-based hardware is still being sold, but the cheaper Quest headsets continue to dominate the consumer market.
Startup Expansio is pushing the post-headset future of XR with prototype smart contact lenses that integrate a solid-state battery to power onboard micro displays and sensors. The company says its latest demo lenses use ultra-thin solid-state cells and wireless power to drive AR overlays without bulky external packs, hinting at a future where immersive interfaces could be worn like ordinary contacts instead of headsets. Interesting.
Okay, can we take a minute and take a look at this thing?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
It's
interesting.
Weird. That's
On the
weird.
slide. Yeah.
What I think is it's actually the contact lens is being held by the device. You don't wear the device, so it's at a conference and demo, and it's yeah.
They're
it's
looking through a
very much
contact
like
lens
Star Trek
without putting it on.
Yeah, without
Yeah.
putting it on. So it is
Okay.
not. It is not the Star Trek
That's not
board.
it.
It's not a board. It's the lens that's being held. But it took me a while looking at that going, I'm not putting that on my face. And then again, I thought about what I do put on my face, and I realized that was not much different. But anyway, I wanted to explain that picture because it is weird. Yeah. Anyway.
Meanwhile, at SID Display Week 2026, several XR manufacturers pulled back the curtain on their newest innovations. The conference in China is one of the largest technology conferences. It showcases the future with prototypes and hardware that stretches into the future. Here are some highlights.
TCL CSOT has ultra-high density OLED and micro LED panels designed specifically for next-gen XR headsets. Their 2.24-inch RGB OLED panel claims one of the highest pixel densities yet demonstrated for XR, with extreme brightness and efficiency, signaling that upcoming headsets could offer crisper visuals, wider fields of view, and more compact optics.
That's so exciting. And this is too, Chinese display maker Visionox showcased their new Visionox in pixel OLED architecture aimed at small, high-resolution panels for XR and wearables. By combining it with tandem OLED stacks, Visionox says it can deliver, again, I need that drum roll, Lance, can deliver up to 4 times the brightness or 6 times the lifespan. Oh, it's a choice. You get brighter or less of a conventional OLED, making it a strong candidate for future lightweight headsets and AR glasses. So as somebody who uses her phone out in daylight and can't even barely see the screen, this is really kind of cool. This is very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
Meanwhile, Samsung showcased their new patented AR system that tackles a frustration many Apple Vision Pro users have, being alone together in separate virtual rooms, even when sitting side by side. The new patent describes a way for multiple AR headset wearers to see and interact with the same anchored virtual objects in a shared physical space, potentially enabling more natural co-presence AR experiences for everything from games to collaborative work.
You know, Engage already has that feature, so Engage XR. So
I was going to say, it sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, it sounds really familiar. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, as we dive into the news from across the metaverse industry, major XR companies appear to be backing away from XR hardware, right? That's the news that we seem to be getting. In reality, companies like Vuzix, RealWear, and a whole new wave of industrial XR firms are stepping up with rugged head-mounted displays, remote assistant tools, and workflow platforms that are designed from the ground up for frontline workers, not gamers, for manufacturers, not those of us playing around with things. It's quietly shaping the future of work in XR. And this innovation, it'll filter down to us, to consumers over time with improved adoption in the workplace. And I'm so excited about it.
Can't wait. Haptic vests bring VR's punches, music, and weather into your body. And these are improving over the old clunky wearables. A hands-on review from Heist compared the Wooger vest and B-Haptics tack suit to see how much extra immersion they really add. Testers found that both vests can make games, films, and even music feel more physical, translating explosions, raindrops, and bass lines into body-wide vibrations. But they differ on comfort, battery life, and how easy they are to integrate with different VR platforms.
Research through reviews finds that if you need longer battery life, B-Haptics tack suit is the better choice. It also is a step above the Wooger vest for, is that the way they pronounce that, Wooger or Wooger?
Yeah, I guess so.
Wooger vest for immersive gaming responses and reactions. Ignoring sales, the Wooger vest sells for about $400, and the B-Haptics tack suit Pro, the better of the options, sells for about $500. Have anybody used any of these? We'd love to hear about your preferences during our discussion section of the show.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think about them from time to time, but
yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're running VR on Linux, a new guide from Hackaday walks through how to get a smoother experience using tools like GameScope, Proton, and community runtime tweaks. The article highlights how careful driver selection, compositor settings, and SteamVR configuration can significantly cut latency and stutter, making Linux a more viable daily driver platform for PC VR enthusiasts who are willing to tinker. You can find a link in our Discord to this and all of our other news items as well.
Well, now on to app news. Engage XR continues to be a leader in firsts and innovation. David Wieland announced last week a major update to the Engage XR Experience Editor that represents a major shift, introducing the prototype of at a recent event. The Experience Editor allows users to create a timeline-based scene of interactivity and movement staged across the virtual world experience. Developers are changing to a scene-based approach to make building complex simulations easier and more like creating a PowerPoint presentation rather than a video. Scenes can include video, audio, 3D models, environments, and AI-driven characters whose memory persists across scenes, allowing for development of richer and dynamic experiences. Oh, this is neat.
It is. We're so excited about that, and we'll be showcasing this groundbreaking experience right here in Engage very soon. So stay tuned.
Now, there are some fun VR apps released recently. Leading them all, though, is the new VR game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Empire City. They're back.
Oh, no.
I thought they were gone. Developed by Beyond Frames Entertainment subsidiary Cortopia Studios, it launched April 30th on MetaQuest, SteamVR, and Pico for around $25. It is already selling for like crazy. And again, I feel like we should rename the show the Drumroll Show, because initial projections are, it's like drumroll, 37 to $75 million by the end of the year.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Wow.
It's so insane. But these mutant turtles, they've survived and been in our lives since 1984 through print, originally comic book, television, movies, video games, massive merchandise. At one time you couldn't walk down the street without seeing some kid and adult wearing turtle shirts.
Not as many adults, but
where I live you would see them. What started out as, and even the hats made me crazy. Anyway, it started out as a comic book. It's now a multi-billion-dollar industry about to get richer. So all these years later, they are back. Here they go. There's any turtle fans here? I just think
but
hysterical.
when I was in my classroom, my first and second grade, Latino Spanish-speaking students, that's all they talked about was Ninja Turtles.
Oh
no.
my goodness. So, well, there you go. And if you're worried about VR games not making any money, $75 million in less than a year. We're going to see how that goes. We'll keep an eye on the sales because that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's all the babies from the 80s, all the grown-up babies from the 80s. All right, from turtles to birds. Now, we've mentioned the new Birdseed VR game. It has now fluttered out of early access and onto the Quest 3, doubling its bird species, polishing multiplayer options, and adding a cozy new scout store. This is a calm bird-watching sim that lets you explore lush forests, snap photos with friends, and complete gentle nature-themed quests.
No turtles.
No
turtles.
Voids.
For long experienced gamers, get ready as ports of the Myst and Riven remakes are landing on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation VR 2 this weekend. Cyan Worlds, developers of the legendary adventure game Myst and its sequel Riven, first debuted in VR in 2020 and 2024 respectively, and have previously been released on PC VR via Steam and on Meta's headsets. This will be the first time the remade games appear on the PlayStation ecosystem and will be fully playable on both flat screens and via PlayStation VR 2.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to Riven yet, but I played Myst in VR. I played it when it first came out, and so I'm excited. That's amazing. It's, again, like turtles, it's lasted that long.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's been like
Amazing.
2 decades, 3 decades.
Yep.
Okay, now I want this one. Somebody buy it for me. No, I want this one. The mixed reality game Wordbound is an ideal word puzzle, perfect for word puzzle lovers. I happen to be one of them. Produced by Kettle Games, Wordbound imagines a world where every object is made of words. Players take the objects apart to reveal tiles with the letters of the object's name. Then they can remix it to spell and create new objects. This, I think, is really cool for teaching spelling. Maybe, I don't know. I think it would be fascinating. Doesn't, not sentences, but it's word spelling. It supports hand tracking and will soon add a Steam release with VR and flat screen support. So I love this.
Excellent.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, Museverse, learn and play music, turns your quest into a 3D music lab, blending 36 interactive piano lessons with virtual drums, marimba, and taiko, so you can literally step inside your practice. You can plug in a real MIDI keyboard, experiment with an AI synthesizer, create new sounds from text prompts, and learn to a fully creative-first environment.
Do you have this one, Steph?
I don't have that one yet, but it certainly looks good.
Yeah, doesn't it? It looks really good.
It does. Compass is an open world flying adventure where you pilot a customizable cargo ship through pastel skies, charting safe paths for a wandering caravan across floating islands and ancient ruins. Instead of dogfights, the challenge is navigating storms, hazards, and environmental puzzles, making this a mostly non-violent, that's unusual for VR, exploration-driven way to feel like an airship scout.
All right. This is kind of interesting. Astro Park on Quest turns space science into hands-on playground. It sends you on missions to launch rockets, drive rovers, and explore planets and moons, including a new moon mission and a wild black hole destination. Reminds me of Nico's Worlds. It's designed as a non-violent STEM-focused experience, so learners can safely explore the solar system in VR without any combat, just curiosity and experiments. This sounds interesting.
It does. Yeah.
Now, Outside the Lines VR is a chill coloring app for Quest that Upload VR calls a simple, easy to unwind, relaxing app, focusing on intuitive tools instead of complex menus. You pick a page, choose your brushes and colors, and relax into some nice, low-stress creativity. Great for mindfulness breaks or creative warm-ups.
Cosmic XR is a mixed reality astronomy experience for Meta Quest that projects planets, moons, and galaxies directly into your physical room, letting you rock around and touch the solar system. That sounds like Nico as well. Designed for curious learners and space fans, it combines accurate planetary models with guided tours and playful interactions, making it a tactile way to explore space science and mixed reality. you too can bring Mars right into your living room.
Okay, I'm so getting this. Anybody had Titans of Space? That was one of my absolute favorites, and this is taking it to a whole new level. Oh, love these. All right. Now, Meta is continuing its Smart Referrals program. Have you heard about it? You used it? You refer a friend, and then you and that friend can earn $30 in Quest Store credit when they activate a new MetaQuest headset. Additional offers include 25% off games and apps during select sales as you earn Quest Cash credit. Seriously, have you used it? You used to be in the social forums and stuff there. People were almost abusing it, but I didn't know it was still going. You know, do you have a friend to get involved in doing it?
Well, I don't know, Laurel. Everyone I know is already in VR.
That is a problem.
Yeah, that is a problem. You know, that's true. That's true. Me too.
Okay, now on to world building, and we've got a lot of that going here. Have you tried Unity's new AI tools now in beta? The package combines the functions Unity AI Assistant, Muse, and Centis. Muse and some legacy tools have already been phased out, but they're in the package.
Now, early feedback is mixed. We'd love to hear your opinion on this. Some developers appreciate the support, while others describe the tools as inconsistent, not quite ready for production, calling them early days and at times underwhelming.
And other concerns are also emerging across the community. Pricing is one. Unity personal users get a 14-day trial and 1,000 credits, and then they have to pay $10 a month for more credits that many say run out quickly. Well, that's a problem in the AI world in general, basically. But, So questions around responsibly sourced training data remain unresolved, with developers asking for greater transparency about how their work may be used.
There's also another familiar divide. Traditional developers focused on craft versus those embracing no-code, AI-driven workflows. It's not a new tension, but it's resurfacing in a big way.
Yeah, it's always the challenges balancing respect for deep expertise with a reality of increasing accessibility through AI.
You need both.
We can't stop the AI, so we need to find, yes, you're right, we need both. There's a whole lot to unpack here, so let's dig into it together during our audience chat. One more topic, because this is serious.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I already have a question related to that. Okay, so Anthropic's Claude AI now plugs directly into Blender, as does OpenClaw, to assist your world building and 3D model making experiences. Anthropic joined the Blender Development Fund as a corporate patron to the tune of about 240,000 euros a year to help fund Blender to stay free and open source, along with other studios and tech companies. Have any of you been using AI with Blender, Lance? He'll tell us later.
Too. Yes. Now, as usual, then I hate saying this is usual. Meta has been sending mixed signals for years. Horizon World's virtual reality app is closing down June 15th, but not really. Okay, that's part of the confusion here.
Well, sort of.
Sort of, kind of. Okay, the VR part of it going bye-bye, the VR worlds, virtual worlds, but it'll continue to be available in 2D as they move towards mobile, to be more accessibility in the Quest headset only accessible in their VR Quest headset through its browser. That's going to be something different.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go. Personal environmental scanning via Meta's Hyperscape capture apps are still in beta and will also continue to be active on Quest 3 and 3S, continuing to let users scan their real spaces as photorealistic digital twins. But it's no longer a part of Meta's Horizon Worlds, so no sharing, no group visitors. Meta Labs may still be working on restoring those capabilities, but since they relied on porting those scans into Horizon Worlds to function, it's not likely. What a waste.
Wow. Luckily, Hyperscape isn't the only scan it and stand in it together dream. Arrival Space pioneered and still hosts these high quality 3D scenes, including Gaussian splat captures on the open web. You upload a splat or 3D environment, click a button, and it's walkable, even collidable world. It's not as one-click simple as Hyperscape's in-headset capture was. You'll need to scan your world using a smartphone app like Polycam, etc., and convert the raw .ply or .splat data into a standard 3D mesh for platforms that do not natively support radiance fields. In other words, splats.
It's still exciting. Gaussian splats are just amazing.
They are gorgeous.
The quality
Yeah.
of it, yeah, really beautiful. Now, Agog, if you have not heard it, is a nonprofit that focuses on emerging technology and has a huge XR community. Educators in VR has worked with them. They announced that they are committing up to $1 million in grant funding this summer to support innovators, technologists, artists, organizers, researchers, organizations, studios, world builders, and creative teams, makers, breakers, etc., that are using immersive media to engage people on climate from awareness to action. This is very exciting. An application, get your app together on climate change, and applications are open May 12th and they close June 12th. So get moving. This is exciting. Get a little of your hands in that $1 million.
A little? Okay.
A little of it,
Don't forget that Educators in VR shares world-building tips, tricks, and news for Unity, Blender, and related tools in our Discord and other social media channels to keep you up to date with your world-building news. Now, on to VR events. Niantic still keeping real-world AR gaming alive and perambulating this month. The Pokemon Go Spring Marathon 2026 event runs until May 18th worldwide, with new debuts like Flittle and Espathra, a special, I love these names, special Marathon Pikachu, a limited time Go Pass with Spring Marathon Progression Track, and extra egg and walking-based bonuses for players who keep moving.
You got to be able to pronounce the names before you can move, though, it seems like.
Let's see how good you are at it.
I know. I got one coming up right here, but I practiced it while you were stumbling through yours. So May's Lechonk Community Day, May 9th, and Dano Community Day Classic, May 16th, with extended lore and XP bonuses and a full slate of May raid bosses and mega raids that turn local parks, I can't even pronounce the 5-letter words, into pop-up social hubs.
Oh, that's so
you're
funny.
next. You shouldn't laugh, Laurel.
I know. Unfortunately, I have a hubby who has spent years playing Pokemon and other Niantic games. The list is too long. And now we've got Lance hooked onto it. Over in Pikmin Bloom, the month-long Game Pack Decor Pikmin event runs through May 31st, layering retro Nintendo cartridge collectibles, event challenge missions, and a special brilliant mushroom encounters into your daily walks, plus an event premium pass.
Oops.
And decorate the loop. So does any of this bring back memories for people of playing with Pokemon and stuff? You know, some people grew out of it, some stay in it. I was bored with it. But anyway.
All of these Niantic apps are based upon the original Ingress Prime, developed by the founder of Google Earth. This very global AR multiplayer app just finished an amazing spring event that featured cherry blossoms floating down over the screen in the game. Their Orion Badge series continues through the end of the year with battles in major cities around the world.
They've also brought back some of their past campaigns, including Nemesis Redux, Myriad, Courier, Umbra, and more. If you love problem solving and exploring the history and beauty of your community, get Ingress Prime. It's a great way to meet new people too.
And I am, okay, so my whole family play it, Lance play it, we all play it, and we have a great time because it gets us out of the house doing things. But I need to share, their April Fool's campaign was one of the funniest things ever. They changed all their portal resonators into hay bales. and you were chased by farm animals like chickens, horses, dogs, and cats, and then some not so farm animals like, see, I found a tiger, there was a fish, a piece of toast with butter on it, a taco truck. The joke is that players use a technique called farming to move from one high-level portal to another.
To gather inventory.
Joke,
Mhm.
and it was hysterical to see chickens and fish and tigers chasing us. Oh, it was wonderful. It was just brilliant.
Well, a little more seriously, Educators in VR's Unity Work Group has a special event coming up this Friday, May 15th, that you don't want to miss in Engage XR. Dawn will take us on a journey through her experience putting her new game on the Quest store. She will share lessons and insights on how to get your app or game in the store. Don't miss this one on Friday.
Twice a week, Educators in VR brings together educators, students, researchers, developers, creators, and makers to discuss the latest innovations and topics critical to immersive education. We meet Tuesdays in Engage XR and Wednesdays in VR chat. Events are free and open to the public. Come join us to learn and explore more about teaching in VR and beyond.
There is so much to do in the metaverse.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
If you are looking to make friends, play games, be entertained, and/or educated, there is no better and more diverse place than in VR. Check out some of our favorite partner events, including Africa VR Campus every Thursday and Bondi's karaoke events, both in Engage XR and Bridgemaker events. Don't forget to Tessa's nightclub and karaoke events in VR chat, and Sunday's world tours with the Cadets Metaverse and all of the other events they produce weekly.
Now, since 2018, so I got this one. Since 2018, I am very proud of the fact that Educators in VR has produced over 8,000 educational events for over 80,000 participants in the past 8 years. We bring you, isn't that amazing? We've got 888s going. We bring you weekly free educational VR events, shows like this, training sessions, and then we also offer paid workshops and private and public training, paid workshops and programs. Please check out our social media and our website for more information and come join us.
That's incredible, Laurel. Congratulations. That's a
Thank you.
landmark for sure.
It is scary.
Wow. Okay, are you guys ready for the rundown of upcoming conferences? Let's go.
Here we go.
Deep breath. May 19 through 20 is the Google I/O in Mountain View, California, and we're really interested in the news that it's going to bring us.
Meaningful XR 2026 is May 30th to the 31st, 2026 in Portland, Oregon.
June 8th through 12th of 2026 is Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference in Cupertino, California.
And the AWE USA this year is June 15th through the 18th in Long Beach, California, and tickets have been on sale. If you're going, get them now.
International XR Metaverse Conference is on June 17th to the 19th in Estonia.
Immersive Tech Week in the Netherlands starts June 23rd.
And June 30th through July, have we already hit in July? July 3rd is the XR Creator Con on-site hackathon and conference in Berlin, Germany.
SIGGRAPH 2026 is in Los Angeles, July 19th to the 23rd.
GamesCon is in Germany, August 26th through the 30th.
MetaConnect is coming this year, September 17th, and it is hosted by Meta virtually.
IEEE's ISMAR 2026, October 5 through 9 in Bari, Italy.
December 7th through 9th, United XR Europe in Brussels, Belgium.
If you'd like to have a favorite conference or an XR event featured here, just let us know. We'll add you to the rundown, the speedy rundown. Okay, here we are. We made it.
Yay.
Okay, now on to the chat. Do we have much to talk to you about? We do have much to talk to you about this week. We've shared many new and fun VR apps, new tech, and talked about the impact of AI on virtual world building and an exciting new grant program to apply for.
Now, we're going to run over a little bit here today. We started a little late and had a few technical issues, but we want to talk about these things with you. So hang in with us. We want to talk about the positive state of VR and its economy and its growth, as well as all the new tech and the fun new apps and stuff in that word game. And I'll talk about Ingress Prime until I'm purple. Pokemon Go, who knows? Anyway, we're here to talk about this. And we've highlighted some of the economic and growth stats that are up on the screen to remind us that VR is not dying, but thriving.
So, what's on your mind? Anybody?
There, thanks.
They're too
All right,
impressed
let's
to
hear from you.
speak.
Yes, I know. All right, let's hear from you. What do you think about the economy and the state of the VR? Or do you have a favorite new app? Let's go. Hey, Kurt.
Next.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Yes.
Hey, it works. I'm looking forward to the new hardware coming out, and hopefully that'll drive it up better, make more, make the adoption better for the newer hardware that's coming out. Especially like
Yes.
Android XR and stuff, and see where that goes. But it's got to start though, so see what happens.
Yeah, we need some competition for the Quest.
Yes, I'd like to get off the Quest.
Unfortunately, it looks like most of them are going to be very high end to begin with,
Yeah, it
from
seems like it,
Samsung. And, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens with Steam Frame too, if it does materialize or not.
Yes, I'm kind of anxious to see what happens with that.
All right.
I think
Okay, how about
Dawn
the
had
rest
her
of you?
hand up.
Dawn,
Lavelle.
are you? Oh, there,
Can
Dawn.
you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you
Yes,
now.
we can.
Woohoo! Technology mastered finally. Only takes like 10 years or so. I just have sort of an unrelated comment. For a number of years, a couple of years, I was a big fan of the Supernatural app, and we know what happened to that. But I've switched over to FunFitland, and I really need to give it a plug. I really think that they're doing a great job of constantly evolving the app and trying to get sort of that personal touch through coaches like Supernatural did, and they're sidestepping they're involving coaches like Supernatural, and they're sidestepping the licensing issues and costs. I mean, although I enjoyed the music in Supernatural, I also enjoy exploring new music, and so they use a lot of up and coming artists, and I've added a lot to my music collection, just being exposed to their tracks in FunFitland. So and it's got
what's
a
the
more
subscription
kind of
on that, Dawn?
Yeah, FunFitland.
FunFitland.
I can't remember the amount off the top of my head, but it is cheaper than Supernatural.
Thought so. Yeah.
And I've
Well,
been,
worth trying out.
trying to be pretty, disciplined about, at least spending, 30 minutes a day, and exercising, and VR was, a big part of that. So I was pretty devastated about the Supernatural thing. But FunFitland has been, a reasonable alternative.
Excellent.
It is $10 a month.
Okay.
That's not bad.
$100 a year. That's not bad compared. Yeah, they have. Oh, there's a
compared
sale
to going
on.
to a gym.
Well, there's a sale
True.
on. It's 30% off for the first year. So there.
Oh.
So glad we looked. There's a sale on. No, that's wonderful. Thank you for letting us know. That's brilliant. I love that. All right. Thanks,
Okay,
Dawn. And
Jason,
again,
how you
cannot
doing?
wait till Friday. Cannot wait for Friday for Dawn's special event. Jason. Oh, all right.
Oh.
Well, as long as somebody else isn't speaking, if you switch to whatever you were using, we just can't talk. So
We'll
echo.
just clam up and let you talk.
Hello? Hello, hello? Hello, hello?
We hear
Yes.
Oh, I'm serious. why does the camera on the microphone on the computer work? So I'm always using the PSVR, or PCVR, excuse me. I don't remember who was saying because I was messing with the microphone, but I'm really tired of the Quest as well, and I want the Deckard if the damn thing comes out. I made an XR game for Steam, and I have so many problems with Unity and the Quest, and it's like I want something that if I'm going to be playing games on Steam, I want to be able to have something that's reliable and not just going to flake out every damn time I connect with thing. Because it's like I prefer the link. I mean, I think a lot of people have use like the Wi-Fi dongle or whatever. You can use like the Wi-Fi to connect your headset to the computer. And I'm like, it never works for me because I just am too far away from the box. And then here in Japan, it doesn't work, not that well. And so I've got the wire, but God, it's such a pain to use a Quest headset with Steam. Because it's got to go through its own native situation, and then it's got to go to Steam, and then it's got to go back to the headset. So it just causes too many problems. Anyway, I'm hoping that the Deckard actually comes out because it looks beautiful. That was it.
No, that's good. Okay, we're gonna wait for you to mute. There you go. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you, Jason.
You're right, and that's why I'm excited about Dawn's program with our Educators in VR Unity work group session that's coming up on Friday. She's going to be talking about how do you get an app in the store, and I don't know if you're covering Steam at all because we're going to be talking about the Unity, but I cannot tell you how many times over the years. I mean, platforms shut down. And some never came back years ago when before it was Quest, when it was Oculus, the Oculus Store, Oculus ecosystem,
Oculus Go,
forced changes on every single app and every single social VR platform, and AllSpace was one of the few that actually stayed open. And we had to strip down all of our avatars and everything to make it through months and months of the change. So they've always had major hoops to jump through. And Dawn is going to be talking about those on Friday for anyone who's developing an app. So good points, absolutely agree. And I'm excited about the new headsets coming out. I think that the Valve's frame is going to be really exciting, but y'all know, you've heard, we're just complaining about the black and white pass-through. I just can't understand that. That doesn't make sense. But boy, I'm looking at that Samsung Galaxy XR and doing a little bit of lusting. But I want the Pico. I want the Pico. I want the Pico 4 Ultra desperately. I'm putting it out in the universe. I want that. I want the Pico below the rest of them. I really want the Pico. So it works beautifully here in Engage and on other platforms. And it has a beautiful store ecosystem now. So I want a Pico. I want a Pico. See, we have choices. We still have choices. All right. Good point. Thank you, Jason. And hopefully you figure out what's going on with the audio. Something weird is happening with that because you sounded far away, but we heard you. Any other thoughts on the economy, other favorite apps? I'm going to look into that. FitXR is one that I know that Karen666 on our team, she loves that one. She likes the boxing as well as other stuff, and she loves that one. But any other favorites? Or, again, I'm really excited about what's happening with Niantic, but I'm going to shut up about it for a moment. I want to see if anybody else has any. And Karen and Steph, what do you think about all this?
Well, I haven't really tried any new apps lately, but I wrote down the one Dawn was talking about, Fun Fitland. I want to check that out. And it reminded me to go back to Beat Saber. I keep thinking I got to play Beat Saber, and then I keep forgetting about it.
Or try SynthWriter. That's a really good alternative to that too.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that. I've never tried it, but I've heard of it.
My husband loves Ragnarok because he's into pounding driving music for exercise. and he kind of likes the whole boat rowing thing. Just kind of cracks him up. There's choices out there. There's choices out there. You'll see. Well, I want to talk about Niantic for just a moment because I think that this is part of the global VR and XR market. I think is really important to understand. Niantic sold part of its inventory off to another company. We reported on that, but they kept a bunch of things. And what they've been either through the new company relationship or on their own. I've lost track of who owns what in the Niantic inventory, but Niantic, it says Niantic itself, what they're doing with Ingress Prime. Ingress Prime is like 14, 15 years old. There's like nothing lasts that long in this world in the tech world, right? And it continues to advance. It continues to push things forward. And in augmented reality, many of the things they're doing are really groundbreaking. And the adjustments they make in the OG program for Ingress Prime gets filtered into Pokemon Go and into, what's it called, Monsters Unlimited. What is it called, Lance? Monsters Unlimited or Monsters United, whatever the new one is. Monster Hunter, and all these different things. It's really exciting when your phone takes you into a new world.
They've done Scaniverse as kind of the VR version of some of what Ingress involves in terms of mapping the world in much the same way that Google has mapped the world, only in VR or 3D.
And so which is exciting and scary, because what is happening with all these Ingress players, millions and millions of Ingress players, everywhere we go, our phone is being tracked by GPS, and we are mapping out landmarks. We're also doing, in Ingress, we can do, it's called Scout, we can photo scan the landmarks. So it's crowd control photo scanning of our entire world around us and mapping it out. And all that data is being used. There's always a cost to play for free. And so we're mapping the world by playing the game. Aside from that, you have to be aware of that. But aside from that, and I know George knows this because I introduced him to Ingress, he believed that in Fiji there was no one would be playing it. And I said, turn it on. And he put it on his phone and looked, and he had portals all around him. And I will never forget my husband going to China for several months to work. And he was working 16 plus hours a day. He had like 2 days off in 3 months to play tourist. The other 2, he did laundry and slept. It was hardcore work. And so what he would do is, there was a bus that went from where he was working to his hotel. He'd get off before it entered the town, and he'd walk back to the hotel several nights a week for exercise. But also he used Ingress to find things that no tourist would ever find. Little Buddhist temples, beautiful little murals, little tea shops, weird eclectic artwork and statues and parks and things, just in this little tiny town where he was staying and near the workplace. And he met people, and it was wonderful. And I will never forget, I was in Norway and I met people playing Ingress. I blew up a whole bunch of portals, and they messaged me through the app and went, thank you, we've been trying to bring these down for months. And they took me out to lunch and took my mom and my niece and I out to show them the real Bergen in Norway. It was wonderful. So I love, AR is to me an extension of the social VR. Because you meet people, you interact. So I love it. And I'm really excited about where it's going and what's happening with it. Anyway,
maybe Lance can do that with me when I come out and show me how to use it.
Yes!
When he comes out, that would be awesome.
When he comes down to California, absolutely. Absolutely. No, that would be great. He's wicked. He's wicked. He's wicked.
Be prepared to know how to make triangles out of everything.
Yeah. No, Lance has the pattern gene. He can recognize patterns, and you make triangles. He's right. You make triangles out of everything, and he can make some awesome patterns. So he can recognize them and put things together. Yeah, it's really fun. I think that would be really fun.
Yes.
Anyway, all right. And that's what we do. It's about the social, right? It's really about the social.
That's what makes it different from just social media online, is that it's social VR or social AR.
Yeah, I love it. Any other thoughts or comments? Or yeah, social XR works. Okay. I just want to say again, look at these numbers up here. This is not dying. The naysayers are like the trolls, the 1% that do
Yeah,
over almost a third of the damage. The most vocal are the naysayers. And yes, there's shifts, and yes, there's changes. But these numbers up here are telling me this is still viable. This is still important. And I want to thank you for being here every single week to remind us of how important XR is and the metaverse is, and the news that that you appreciate the news that we bring you all the time. So thank you, as we today share all the news from across the metaverse on the state of VR, on XR apps and games, and just the fun that all this is. You know, we got to remember, this is fun, right?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
So thank you to you and to all of our team members and everyone who contributed all the images and all this stuff that happened with us, with all of our news and all of our reporters. And Steph, take us out.
Next week is in the XR News Innovation Spotlight with Maxwell McGee, Chris Madsen, and Dr. Tom Furness. Come join us and continue to share your stories and experiences with us next Wednesday, right here in Engage XR.
Now, the first Wednesday, do not forget, this coming Wednesday, June, XR News Med Health with Rachel D is going to feature the amazing immersive education pioneer, Shannon Putman. Oh, she's incredible. She's going to take us on an adventure here in Engage XR to learn more about how VR is being used for teaching medicine, science, and just about everything. So get it on your schedule. Do not miss it.
XR News is produced by educators in VR and our XR News volunteer team weekly here in Engage XR. We've been bringing you the news from across the metaverse since 2018, and we're still rolling. We meet weekly for news and Engage XR with the news you need to know.
And each of our shows is filmed live for a live audience and filmed for YouTube. Subscribe and share with your friends. Keep up with the news and help us share the news from around the metaverse in the meantime. So join the Educators in VR Discord and all of our social media channels to find the links to what we highlight in the show and so much more about the metaverse and immersive education.
Thank you to our Educators in VR partners, sponsors, and supporters, including iLearn, the Reinhardt Foundation, Girls STEAM Institute, Virtual World Society, Cadets Metaverse, Vertex Form 3D, Bridgemakers, and Engage XR. We're also looking for volunteers to make the news possible, so come on in and join us.
And let's not forget to give credit where it's due. We couldn't do this show without the hard work of those who gather the news from across the metaverse industry for a living, including our XR News reporters, though we're not making a living off of it. Thank you to all. Thank you to all of you out there toiling in the metaverse.
That's right. You know, we say you don't have to be crazy to work here. It's in the job description. It takes a village to produce this show for you every Wednesday here at Engage XR. So as always, I want to take a moment to thank everyone who gives so much of their time to make this show possible. We could not do this without everyone up on that screen and more.
Remember, you are the reason we do the XR News Show. So until next time, stand up, stand tough, and most of all, in these amazing, uncertain times, please, please be safe wherever you are in the world.
We did a thing!
Yay!